Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Coming up this week, the CDC has issued new guidance on mask wearing outdoors. We're going to talk about what potential impact that could have at Walt Disney World. We're also going to be getting new details on the release of the Disney Wish cruise ship later this week. We're going to talk about what we think might be coming. Disneyland is set to reopen this coming Friday. We're going to talk about that. And Disney is starting to cancel some theme park passes. And we're going to talk about that. So we've got a lot to talk about. All that coming up next. From the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida, this is the Diz Unplugged. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Coming to you live from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined this week by my good friends, Mr. Rhino Clavin.
Hello.
Ms. Denny Sunderly.
Hey there.
Miss Elaine Edwards.
Hey, friends.
And, of course, Craig.
Oh, hoy, hoy.
So welcome, folks. Hope your week is off to a good start. Just a quick couple things. Of course, this show, along with all the shows that we produce, are brought to you by DreamsUnlimitedTravel.com, of which I am one of the owners. And if you like our content, if you like our vlogs, if you like the stuff that we put out, then I humbly ask you for your support, especially during like the world burning to the ground. Book your next Disney vacation, please, with Dreams Unlimited Travel. Does not cost you any extra money. You're going to get a phenomenal agent like Ms. Elaine Edwards, who's going to help you plan every aspect of your trip. And like I said, it costs you the same as if you go through Disney, but you support a small business and help keep these folks employed. So we really appreciate your support. Now, another plug I'm going to make is for Magic Candle Company, magiccandlecompany.com. I decided to order some candles that I haven't tried yet. One may become my new favorite, extraterrestrial. It's inspired by the E.T. ride at Universal, and oh my God, it is so good. It is so good. magiccandlecompany.com. Use code DisneyInfo at checkout. You'll save 15% on your order. And of course, I didn't bring a Tiki Tudis in.
No.
Because last week Keith sent me the Tiki oil burner, oil diffuser, and oh my God, it's so good that I brought it in my office, and I've been running it in my office like every day. And the audience named him Tiki Tudis, and he's supposed to be behind me, and I completely forgot. So I'll get another one and make sure that there is one always over my shoulder. But you can buy that, magiccandlecompany.com. I forgot the price. Danny, do you remember the price on that? Was that $29.95?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's that plug. All right. Anything else anybody has to talk about before we get started?
I wasn't listening, but did you remind everyone who's watching right now to hit the thumbs up, make sure you're subscribed, and leave lots of fun stuff in the chat and then the comments later. And if you're listening, make sure you're subscribed and leaving us positive ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts.
Okay. I think I forgot to say all that.
Well, now's time.
Well, I think you just took care of it, honey.
Okay.
I really...
Okay.
So sad. I need to do everything for them. Also, okay, one other thing. If you want to find out why I just fell in love with Disney's Riviera Resort, go subscribe to the DVC Fan YouTube channel, youtube.com/DVC Fan. That show will be coming out in a couple of weeks. Because we did that show where I completely fell in love with Riviera last week. Completely fell in love. So we did that in one show. And then the next show, I yell at Disney Vacation Club for about 30 minutes. So typical relationship, right? Typical relationship. Love, hate. All right. So let's get started on a couple things here, because right before we went live, the Centers for Disease Control, the CDC, announced that a revised guidance on wearing masks outdoors, saying that fully vaccinated people, this is paraphrasing, fully vaccinated people can relax that restriction of wearing masks outdoors. Obviously, if you're in a close cluster of people, things like that, they suggest that you keep your mask on. And I wanted to get ahead of this because we all know what's going to start. Because it's not like these poor cast members don't have enough crap to deal with from people. This does not mean you can go to Disney World and take your mask off as you're walking around if you're fully vaccinated. So we'll have the discussion again for those of you that didn't get it the first 77 times. Walt Disney World is private property. Walt Disney World is private property. They are allowed to set whatever standards of conduct and behavior they choose. The same way at your home, you can set the standards of conduct and behavior that you find acceptable and trespass someone that doesn't honor that. That's what Disney can do because they are private property. So already you've got people that accost and spit on and curse at cast members. Special place in hell for that group, okay? Just special place in hell. To treat a cast member like that with what these people do, where they do it, and the time of history that they're doing it. But I won't go too far down that road. But it is really, really important for people to understand that this new CDC guidance does not alter anything at Walt Disney World. And like I said, as soon as I heard it, I'm like, oh, God. Oh, God. I mean, oh, great. I mean, that's great guidance. I'm really happy for it. But until Disney says it's okay, but Disney's not going to be checking your vaccine records on the way into the park. They're just not. So without that, they have no way of knowing who's vaccinated and who's not, and nor should they actually. But they're going to keep the mask. That you're going to be wearing masks at Disney World for a very long time. And I don't care what your political views are. I don't care what your personal views are. Whatever. That's going to be the way of it. So we all just have, no one likes it. None of us like having the alien thing on our face when we're walking around in 95-degree heat and humidity. Nobody likes it. I can't stand it. But if I want to go, that's what I got to do. If I don't like it, I don't want to wear it. I have free choice. But my free choice is not to go. My free choice is not to go to the parks and spit on cast members and talk about my constitutional rights because apparently you've never picked up a book. Has nothing to do with your constitutional rights. But, okay, I've gone too far down the rabbit hole. But just, I wanted to get out in front of that and talk about that. And I will not ask anybody else in the group to comment. Let's move on to something a little more fun. We are finally getting information about the Disney Wish. They've been releasing things slowly. I said in a show last month, reading the tea leaves, that I was pretty certain we were going to have an announcement by the end of April, a firm announcement by the end of April on the Wish. And sure enough, literally the next day after that show, I got a media invite to the online presentation thing that they're doing on Thursday. The big question on everyone's mind is, when are you going to be able to book it? And Elaine, I'm going to talk to you because Elaine is a prolific travel agent, especially where Disney Cruise Line is concerned. She's a one-woman show in the number of clients this woman is able to work with. And I don't know how you do what you do. And this is true for a lot of my agents at Dreams. But what do you think? When do you think we're going to hear an announcement from them? Well, obviously, we'll hear an announcement on Thursday about when bookings are going to open, but when do you think that's going to happen?
So if you look back at the entire history of cruise releases, as far as I've been with Dreams, They always announce that the cruises will be released, and they announce the itineraries on a Thursday, and then they go on sale the following Monday, and they always follow the same. Platinum Castaway Club members can book on Monday, Gold on Tuesday, Silver on Wednesday, and then first-time cruisers on Thursday. And the fact that they have advertised this big announcement and more details coming on a Thursday, it's a little suspicious that they might actually put these on sale this coming Monday. And so it's kind of exciting. And even when you think about it, they're saying that it's going to start sailing summer of 22. We don't know if that means June or if that means August, but you're just over a year out. So they're going to be putting it on sale pretty soon. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw them on sale within the next week or two.
Well, I know some people were speculating that with the 2022 itinerary release that happened in March that they would release the Wish, but I think we all kind of, at least on this side of the operation, we figured that probably wasn't going to happen because they weren't going to want to cannibalize the other sailings, because there's going to be this big sucking sound on the internet when you can start booking the Wish. I think they did this smart, the way they released it. They did that first release. They gave that its own news cycle, so to speak, and they're letting the Wish have the attention a month later. We have a lot of information on our website, dclfan.com. About the Wish, about what they're announcing will be on it. Of course, yesterday, in between filming DVC shows, I was walking back to my office and a package was delivered. And it was from Disney Cruise Line. It was about the Wish. I guess I'm assuming it was like a media thing, their media kit. And we decided to film it as I opened it. And I just went total 12-year-old girl opening this thing. And I got to tell you, this room fragrance, Enchanted Memories, phenomenal. I want to know where I can buy this. And then the thing in there that is...
The wand.
Well, not the wand. No, it's the light-sensitive thing, the speaker that plays the horn. Mm-hmm. Oh. I've been walking through.
Oh my gosh!
Every time I pass the box, I open the thing up and. But go youtube.com/DCLFan. You can head over there and watch that video. We just put that up yesterday. I am incredibly excited about the Wish. I mean, it's not every day that Disney releases a new cruise line or a new cruise ship, and I'm intrigued by some of the theming that they're suggesting this is going to have. A castle on the sea, that how iconic the Disney castles are, and they want the Disney Wish to be their castle, I guess, of the fleet.
Yeah, it was a really interesting announcement. Like, even the fact that the Wish wasn't the first name that they were going to use for the Disney Wish. I think they said the original working name was the Enchantment, and that's what the project worked with. And then once you start listening to their stuff, it's like, they really, I feel like Imagineering might have wanted it to be Enchantment.
I thought it was going to be the Disney Cash Machine.
Yeah, well, that's what it's going to turn out to be. But it's so interesting because it's so heavily themed on Cinderella, and the grand hall that they're going to have on the ship has, of course, the Cinderella statue as the icon that is in their atrium, and the chandelier is going to be just decked out with crystals, and the entire look of it is to symbolize when Cinderella goes through her transformation and her dress changes with the fairy godmother. So this story is just piping all through this ship. It's going to be magnificent in person. I'm excited.
The concept art is incredible. Is absolutely incredible. So Elaine, what open it up to the group. What are you looking forward to about it?
I like, just from the concept art that we've gotten in the few little teaser videos that we've gotten, that it looks completely different. I mean, the other 4 lobby atrium areas, even though they have different styles to them, they kind of have a same feeling. And this one is all of the colors are very light colors instead of that very heavy dark blues, golds, that kind of thing. It's just very light and airy, and you can see all of the sparkles and diamonds and crystals and all of that. So I think that is a tease of what the whole ship will be, that it will be a completely different look from the other 4. I'm really excited for that. You know, we don't know where it's sailing out of. We don't know where it's sailing to. We can kind of guess based on the fact that the Dream is moving from Port Canaveral down to Miami next summer, that it's going to go out of Port Canaveral. And I'm excited for that. It gives everybody just a really, really wonderful experience to look forward to. I'm so excited.
You know, Craig keeps putting the lobby up. Go ahead and put it up again. And I just, because I'm a twisted old queen. Look, it's gorgeous, right? Absolutely beautiful. I just keep thinking, it looks like a drag queen exploded. I mean, it looks like a drag queen exploded. I'm sorry. It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. But I'm sitting here looking at it, and that's what's going through my head. And I'm sitting here while Elaine is talking, trying not to laugh.
It's very glamorous, but at the same time, too,
I'd work that staircase. I'd do a Norman Desmond on that staircase like nobody's business.
Some of the color schemes with it remind me on like the big Royal Caribbean ships. You know, the Oasis class. They always have the one club that's trying to be elegant but doesn't quite get there. I think this is going to be.
No, this is elegant.
Well, that's what I'm saying though.
I
This
mean,
is taking that concept and it's actually doing it right for a change. So I think that's why I'm so drawn to it.
No, it is. It's absolutely beautiful. It's just, it's very. It looks like a drag queen exploded. It's very like the sparkles and the crystals and the. I don't know. Beautiful. I can't wait. What do we think the itineraries are going to be, Elaine?
I mean, I think it's probably, like I said, with the Dream moving, it's kind of obvious that it's going to be going out of Port Canaveral. I don't know. I mean, the Fantasy is still doing their regular 7 nights.
So this is going to do
sailings.
3 and 4s.
I think 3 and 4, maybe even like 4 and 5, just to get people on it longer, pay a premium price, that kind of thing. Because, you know, this is a brand new ship. They need to be able to pay for it. So they need to make some money right away. I kind of think maybe even 4 and 5 nights, but that's my own.
You know,
opinion.
As you mentioned that, you know, think about it. A lot of cruise lines put the halt on new ships being developed. Keep in mind that Disney Cruise Line, along with every other cruise line, hasn't had a sailing in over a year. They haven't made any money real money in over a year. And I'm impressed that this was only delayed by 6 months, roughly, depending on when they actually launch it. So I'm very excited about this. But I'm also saying to myself, Disney Cruise Line hasn't made any money in a year. You know, an inside stateroom in steerage is going to be $83,000 for a 3-night cruise. That's what I'm worried about. I want to see I think we have to gird our loins because I think the prices on this are going to be extraordinary. And the bottom line is people are going to pay it. And Disney knows that. Especially right now. The timing on the release of this, it's not ideal from a, you know, global health standpoint, but from where the reality of the world is right now, releasing this now, giving people something like this to grab onto and hope for, people are going to dig deep. Disney fans are going to dig deep. I am going to dig deep. Right, Elaine? You're going to make sure I get a good stateroom?
100%. I got you.
Well,
Lane's
Yeah,
my girl. That's who I go
agree
to.
with-
That's who I go to. Lane's my girl.
But I agree what you're saying, because even just on the other 4 ships, as I'm moving guests from 2021 summer sailings back to 2022 summer sailings, they're exact same sailings. There's a significant jump in pricing for the same thing. So I'm a little scared of the pricing, but it's going to be great. We know it's going to be great. So.
All right. So right now, among the team, I know I've done this before. Among the team, if Disney said, "Oh, by the way, we're sailing out of Port Canaveral on Friday, on any ship," who's going?
yes.
Rhino's
Yes.
like, "Oh, hell no."
Uh,
Nah, I was like, I get, I don't know.
Yes.
Not yet.
I'm going.
Let's
Not
go.
yet.
I got my ears. Yes, let's go.
She's all set.
Let's go.
Craig?
I'm undecided.
Okay.
I'm undecided in the
I think
mix.
Disneyland would be a different story for me, but the cruise. It's
Yeah,
just because
I-
historically people get that cruise cred, right? So it's like I don't want to be. It's like
I don't
wearing
know.
somebody else's
I don't know.
shoes.
I-
can't.
I trust Disney and I trust Pfizer. So
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
that's that. Obviously, without the vaccine for me, I wouldn't do it. But I feel, and not that I feel like I can, I'm impervious to COVID-19. I'm not. But I just feel like, okay, there's this extra level of protection, and you follow guidelines and social distancing.
Yeah, that's where mine is. It's more comes down to I could make a solid decision on it once we knew what the guidelines were going to be and how many people were going to be on the ship. Because the one thing, and I've complained about it on live streams from the parks, I have gotten really used to the idea that people stay away from me now, and it's not because I'm afraid of getting sick. I just don't like other people getting too close to me.
Well, it was like that before COVID.
I am like, I know, that's what I'm saying. I suffer through it because, some people just get close, but it drives me nuts. And I like the distance. So if I knew the capacity was light, and then I would definitely jump back on
I
again.
want everybody after this show to Google, or just go to YouTube and search for Albert Finney, "I Hate People," from Scrooge the Musical, starring Craig Williams.
It's not that I hate people. It's just
Go Google that. Albert Finney, "I Hate People," from Scrooge the Musical.
Real
I
quick.
take your point, though. I know how you are. And look, I'm not exactly thrilled with other people I don't know either. But I think at this point, even if I just had to sit in my stateroom by myself on the balcony for 4 days, I'm okay. Okay, I'll do it. How much do you want? I have to get out of here. I'm actively planning something right now. I just don't know where I'm going to go. I have looked at Greece. I have looked at Croatia. I have looked at Hawaii. I got to go somewhere. I'm just ready. But, and those lucky folks in the UK. That are going to be the first among us to do those staycation cruises that they're doing out of England. And what's the status on that, Elaine?
They go on sale tomorrow.
Oh, God
And they
bless.
did release guidelines 2 days ago. They did say that you must be fully vaccinated, which I know for a lot of UK residents, that is putting a little wrinkle in their plans, because in talking to our agent that lives in the UK and a few other people, they have not opened it up to all age groups yet, and they have been spacing out that second vaccine to about 10 to 12 weeks out.
Oh, wow.
So they are not as far along as we are. And so in saying that you must be fully vaccinated, a lot of people that thought they were going to go aren't going to be able to go. So.
And do we think this is going to be the way of it when Disney begins sailing out of the U.S.? Are they going to require vaccines? I think they are.
we've been having this discussion for about 6 months as will they or won't they require it.
Well,
And
now we
I
have
was
an
always
idea.
on I was always on the fence and saying, with this being a primarily family oriented ship, it's hard since children can't get the vaccine. Will they make it adults only? Will they require it? But now that we're seeing that all of these summer sailings from other countries, they're requiring it, I think it's a pretty good idea that they're going to require it for anybody, that is 18 and older.
Yeah, those UK sailings are definitely a test balloon. I mean, and what better test balloon than to actually take it out and give it a spin for a couple of days and bring it back and just see how, the vaccination requirements are, how they're received by the public in general, that kind of thing. Really quick, one word, when the Wish does go on sale, when it's announced and there's that clamor to try to book. And invariably, when big announcements are made like this, I will see several posts, several message threads on the Disboard saying, how do I avoid waiting 8 hours on the line with Disney? How do I avoid the endless hold? You book with Dreams Unlimited Travel. That's
Nice
how
plug.
you avoid that. I mean, but seriously, because, and Elaine, Elaine is a perfect example. Elaine's job is to sit on the phone with DCL on those days and be your stand-in. She gets to be your advocate with them. She, all of those agents you get the day to do what you need to do. Let your travel agent do that at no additional cost to you. Like, it's such a win-win, it's ridiculous. And then there's shipboard credit on top of that. So for all of you who are thinking, no, I'll get up on Monday or Wednesday morning or whenever and I'll do it myself.
No, you won't.
Okay.
Well, you might, but
you're going to be on the phone for a long time.
You're gonna
And when
have a
the
voodoo
website
doll.
crashes-
You're gonna have a voodoo doll of Disney Cruise Line and sticking pins in it while you're waiting on. That's what Elaine does. She has her little voodoo doll, her little Disney Cruise Line voodoo doll.
Yeah, a lot of not so nice language comes out of my mouth on release days, but you know what? I love every second of it. That's the thing.
Yep.
I'm addicted to it and I love it. So
All right, let's move on a little bit. Something else that caught my eye this week is that Disney has been sending emails to certain people letting them know that their park passes are going to be canceled because apparently, like, whatever ticket media they originally had attached for the reservation is no longer valid. And so I think, Denny, correct me if I'm wrong here. They're trying to make sure that, I think they have a lot of people not showing up, making park passes and not showing up because they don't have valid media. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I would imagine so. They're just doing some housekeeping is what it is. They're just trying to clean things out. They're giving you fair warning that, okay, you may have been able to make that park pass reservation. However, we see you and your ticket media is no longer valid for whatever reason. And so we're gonna take that away. We're hitting the bucket, we're hitting the bottom of the bucket here on our daily park pass reservations. And so I like the fact that Disney is being proactive in this to kind of clear things out just a bit. And so that those who are trying to go, I have a park pass reservation, I don't have a ticket. Well, you don't get to kind of sit on that park pass reservations because there are people who actually have tickets,
right,
who really, who are getting here or who are booking their trips. I'm seeing this a lot on the Disboards, who are booking their trips and can't get into any of the theme parks while they'll be here. And so they end up frustrated, they end up delaying that trip, they end up doing whatever. But if you're planning on spending thousands of dollars to come here to Walt Disney World, you want to actually step foot into a theme park or 2 or 4. So to not be able to do that's incredibly frustrating. And so I just think Disney's been listening to some guest feedback and is actually taking steps to implement it.
Right now, of course, the parks are still at 35% capacity. And I have that from multiple very reliable sources, that's still where they are. I'll make a prediction. By the end of June, that'll be raised to at least 50. 50, 55. They're going to have to. They're going to have to. As you get more people vaccinated, as I think they're just going to feel that they can. Anybody agree, disagree?
I think your points are very valid. I mean, we're seeing every day that we're getting people requesting May and June vacation package dates, and the first thing that all of us do is we check the park pass calendar first. We say, look, we can book this for you, but you're only going to Epcot for a week. So and it's making a lot of people pretty upset. So I think you're totally valid that that's going to be raising soon.
You know, they announced that they were going to be reopening Resort Poly, for example, will be reopening in July. I just don't see them doing that without increasing capacity. I don't see them opening more resorts and telling people come spend, $18,000 a night for a hotel room, and like you can't get into a park. So the fact, Poly, I know the Poly has not gone on sale yet. They've announced that it would be sometime in July, late July is what we're hearing. But I just don't see how they start reopening more hotels without upping capacity. You have a look on your face, Craig.
As well as Wilderness Lodge and Boardwalk are both reopening this summer as well. So
I think one of the hard parts right now is that people are still in the mode that when they decide they're coming down to Walt Disney World, it is still I don't want to say very last minute decision, but it's not planned out super far in advance. And that is what is really hurting it, because once you get out to July and August, there's 1 week in July where availability is, I think that's the 4th of July week, that availability is already tough for people who are staying at the hotels. But then once you get into August and September until October 1st, it's wide open.
Yeah.
And so when we can start to get back into a rhythm where people are planning their trips out, I don't think a lot of these complaints about we can't get our availability for what we wanted, like, I think that's not going to be a problem. But right now it's just, people are getting vaccinated and they're ready to travel. And unfortunately, if you make that decision and you want to travel 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later at this point, it's a little bit more dicey. But if you can push it off for a couple months, you can make all the plans you want. But
so what's crazy to me is that, like, you can buy an annual, or, if you have an annual pass or you renew your annual pass, like I renewed mine not too long ago, and it's like now it barely works. Like, I can't ever go, and that's no fault of mine. You could say, well, you can make your reservations earlier, but you can only make 3 at a time. So, like, I still have to wait for it to get here to be able to use it again. So it's, even though you buy an annual pass that has no blockout dates, depending on what's going on, like, through no fault of your own, you might not be able to go to the park for like months out or whatever. And it's kind of crazy. And I feel like I'm not trying to compare the two because I don't know, the systems are different. But at Universal, I went the other day just to see what it would be like. I drove up on Sunday to say hi to a friend, and they were at Volcano Bay, and I was like, well, I want to see what that crowd level looks like and stuff. And as I'm driving up to the entrance, it says sold out, and I asked the person who's like scans the pass, at the toll plaza, and I said, oh, does that mean I can't go? And they're like, well, no, you technically already have a ticket because you have an annual pass. You have the 3-park annual pass, so you can go in. We just can't sell any more tickets. And I was like, oh, that's shocking to me, because it means that you, instead of limiting the annual pass holder entry in, they just were like, well, whoever gets here, and then you can go. Like, so even if you bought your ticket and you didn't wake up and get in there before, if you're deciding you're going to go at 3 and let's say the park fills up, then like somebody with an annual pass can get in before you. But what's crazy to me is that, like, even on the days where I can't get it, I have yet to be able to get one like day of. And I thought maybe after 2, when they're like, okay, people can park hop and all the parks are open for hopping, that you'd be able to get one then, or like an evening park pass. And that has not, I have been trying every day for the last like 5 days, and I have not been successful with that at all.
I have been able to do that. Recently, I've been able to pick up even for studios, which is fantastic. I think it's kind of like, it's roulette. It's whenever you happen to log on.
Refresh.
Right. Someone drops a park pass and you're able to pick it up. It's just a matter of one time I had to switch a fast pass. This is back when fast pass was the thing. So, and I was in the park with my parents, and we had to switch up some fast passes. So we went to the guest assistance team podium there in Magic Kingdom, and he said, "Yep, I can switch that for you." So we dropped a fast pass, and I think it was for Haunted Mansion. It was for something, one of the most iconic attractions, and the Get team. Cast member said, if you listen, you can hear someone across the park screaming for joy right now because I had just dropped one, so somebody was able to pick it up. So I think it's just all a matter of timing and a little bit of luck and a whole lot of chance. But all along, as far as looking at the capacity levels, all along Disney's been very clear to say they're working with CDC guidance. So as goes the CDC, it's not so goes Disney, they then take that into consideration and into account. So if we see some big shifts and changes from the CDC and what they advise, you can know that there are teams at Disney who are considering, okay, do we go to the next level? But really, it's going to be driven by the CDC. And two, it's also going to be driven by money, by profit. It's, you talk about the shows coming back online or whatever is closed right now, the restaurants, it's all the bottom line. Tony Kornheiser says it on his show all the time. The answer to all your questions is money. I mean, that's it. Yeah. That's it.
I want to just throw an update in here because somebody said it in the chat. Florida Nerd said, regarding the Volcano Bay, if you've bought a dated ticket, you are guaranteed entry for that day. So that does mean that they do compensate for their annual pass people to still be able to go even when they've sold out the maximum number of normal tickets they go. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah.
I know in talking with Universal as well, it also depends as far as like if you're staying in one of the hotels, if they are in phase 1 closure, phase 2 closure or phase 3 closure. If they're in phase 3 closure, nobody is in and nobody is out is what they've told me. If they're in phase 2 closure, like if you're a hotel guest or an annual pass holder or a dated ticket, then you can skip the wait line and go right on in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we could probably spend another hour and a half talking about the ins and outs of this, but I do want to move on because the other big event happening this week, the reopening of Disneyland on Friday, April 30th. Of course, this is limited solely to California residents. They are not allowing out-of-state guests into the park. And they're kind of doing a hybrid. Everything's going cashless as far as, food is mobile order for the most part. No express pass, right? They're not doing the express pass thing. Right. But what are you guys hearing about this? Like, what's your take on Disneyland reopening? How do you think this is going to go?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of what they are going to be implementing beginning Friday and what they've already begun implementing is what we saw here at Walt Disney World. They use a little bit of a different lingo. They don't call it a park pass. They call it a park reservation. So everyone is really clear that you've got to have a park reservation. You got to have that ticket. You're going to you're good to go after that. So, yes, mobile order. If you're planning on going, you need to have the Disneyland app. Go ahead and download that now and play with it because you'll need that. And I would imagine that they're going to do the same thing that we see here at Walt Disney World, and we've seen it since the reopening in July. I see on the boards, there's a thread going right now. Hey, what if I don't use mobile order? Like, what if I don't use the app for whatever reason? They will have one cashier open at every counter service location. So if you are someone who is planning on going to Disneyland starting this weekend, but you don't do the whole smartphone thing or you don't do the whole Disneyland app, don't stress. just approach and let that cast member know what you need to do. And they'll direct you to that cash register that's open for you. But I can't wait to see what happens. I can't wait to see social media. I know it sounds like Mary Jo is going to be there this weekend, and maybe Nancy. So can't wait to see what
I know
say.
Mary Jo told me she is going to be live streaming on Facebook, on the Diz or Diz Unplugged Facebook group, a page. I'm not sure which one. And very excited to see that. Very, very excited to see that. I'm glad that Disneyland is finally reopening. 10,000 cast members brought back to work in a state that could absolutely use the help, with an 8.5% unemployment rate, I believe, right now. So that those 10,000 cast members being brought back, and you can see it on Instagram and on social media, the ones who are coming back to work, how excited they are. So I'm glad. Grand Californian, I believe, the only hotel that is open other than the Good Neighbor hotels. But I'm imagining that's probably very difficult to get a reservation for Grand Californian right now. But I'm excited to see it happen. I'm excited that, finally we're getting some exciting news, some good news, right? That's about things like, okay, a new Disney Cruise Line ship, Disneyland is reopening. I realize for a lot of us, a new Disney cruise ship doesn't affect us really until next year. Disneyland reopening, if we don't live in California, it doesn't affect us. But from my perspective, it's like this small step toward getting back to something that looks like normal. And I'm going to celebrate every one of those steps because they're rare. They're rare. Yep. And, will we ever get to a place where, we're never going back to 2019, folks. I say it all the time. We're going to have a new normal. It's not going to look quite as restrictive as the current normal, but it's going to be different.
Mm-hmm. I'm super happy for Disneyland. I'm a little bit bummed that the Disney Wish is having its announcement tomorrow. Wait, no, 2 days from now on Thursday, because I feel like this week is Disneyland's week. Like last night, if you were watching at 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Disneyland time, they had this beautiful little live stream with Ken Potrock and Josh D'Amaro, and they lit up Sleeping Beauty Castle for the first time, because today cast members are in there right this second. They're in there getting to play in the parks, and it just... I was watching a little bit of it on social media. It looks like they are having a great time, and even beyond that, they have so much to look forward to there, because today was the first day guests are getting to ride, as in cast members, but they're getting to ride Snow White's Enchanted Wish, which I already watched the POV of, and it looks freaking amazing. They knocked it out of the park. And then they have Avengers Campus come in a month from now. Disneyland is just, they are all, they're going to have so much to look forward to here for the next little bit, and I am jealous.
I can tell you, as somebody who has, just dealt with this for years and years, the PR departments of the various branches of this company do not speak to one another. I don't know if they had a fight. I don't know what happened. But the number of times we'll have some major cruise release, and then something happens with World or something happens with Land. And my poor agents, Elaine, I know Elaine understands this. The agent's like, what are they doing to us? What are they doing to us? Can they space this stuff out? I think they want to. I think where Disneyland is concerned, there's a very careful needle they have to thread. They want to celebrate the fact that it's coming back and reopening, but they also need to limit that to a certain degree, because, people in California can go. The rest of the world can't. And I'm telling you, if it was open for... I was just talking to you about where I want to go. I need to get out of here. And I think Ryan will agree with me. If it was open to, come on in,
yeah,
my ass is on a plane. It's California.
Yeah.
I'd be there like white on rice.
Yeah, it's tough because I know there's probably going to be a lot of people from out of California who are going to take that chance. They're going to keep the Russian roulette analogy going because right now Disneyland's saying you may have to show proof of residency. I think there's going to be a lot of people who are going to take the chance and go anyways. Obviously, none of us are because, well, we have a good relationship with Disney that we don't really want to ruin by breaking any rules like that. But I every time I think about it, I'm looking at it like, could I book a vacation for June and then just cancel if it doesn't work out that it's open for us yet? Like when can I just get it on the books? Because I want to get there so badly.
Yeah, well, I'm right there with you. I would. And now everybody was like up in the air on cruises. I don't think anybody is up in the air on Disneyland, right?
No.
No. No. Nope. No. I'll die happy on the way.
Go.
Don't care anymore. Get me out.
Oh, all right. I thought this conversation go a little bit longer, but what else you want to talk about? We got 10 minutes to kill. I want to do an hour show today.
Yeah.
Not a 50-minute show.
Well, Rhino probably has more to say about Disneyland.
Oh,
I love Disneyland.
Okay, we're done.
no, I never would have known that from anything ever. I was there for his first trip. When he had a few too many drinks and he's sitting down talking about how pretty the pavement is. I'm like, oh my God.
Taste those drinks going in and coming back out.
So yeah. Now look, Disneyland is such a special place. It's such a special place. And attempts to compare it to Walt Disney World are futile because they're just entirely different things. They're just entirely different parks, products, but they both have their own charm and magic, that Disney brand that run through them. And yeah, I would give anything. I'd give anything to get back to Disneyland, but I'll wait my turn.
The number one clientele for Disneyland is also adults without kids, so it's speaking right into my wheelhouse. Where I'm like, okay, this is my place, little child. Step back.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Elaine. Go ahead.
I think the thing that is bothering some people is that you did not have to be a California resident to go to the Taste of Disneyland, the event that they've been having. You don't have to be a California resident to go to Downtown Disney. You don't have to be a California resident to stay at the hotel. But you have to be a California resident to go into the regular parks. And so there's a little bit of not consistency going on.
Well, again, the story of the battle between Disney and the state of California on this reopening is, I think in 10 years, people are going to be writing books about it. On our Moving to Orlando show, I think coming up next week, we did a show on the rumor going around that Disney corporate may be looking at moving some of their operation out of Burbank and into Lake Nona here in Florida, because they are talking to a developer about another master planned community, similar to what they did in Celebration. When they built Celebration, they built offices, and they moved a lot of people out of where they were in Lake Buena Vista into Celebration. Cruise Line, Disney Vacation Club, Walt Disney Travel Company, all operate out of Celebration, Florida. And that's not official, that's rumor, that's tea leaves being read. But this is, if it's true, a direct result of the battle between Disney and the state of California on reopening. Because think about it, July of last year, they reopened Walt Disney World. So 9 months ago, they reopened Walt Disney World and have done, by all measures, successfully. They've done it successfully. And this was the argument they were making to the state of California. Look at what we're doing. Look at how well it's going. And they refused to let them open. They refused to let them open. And I think that, along with taxes and other things, Disney may just well be saying, you know what? We've got a much friendlier environment out in Florida for our business, because they wouldn't be the only business doing that right now. And again, not getting into politics, just stating what I see. So I'm happy Disneyland is reopening, but I think the story of behind this reopening and the battles that have gone on and the challenges that they've had to do are going to be ripe for a book. Are going to be ripe for another book. And I don't think the whole story's been written yet. But all right, that's going to do it, folks, for this week's episode of our show. We hope you enjoyed it. Thank you guys for being with us. Thank you, Elaine, Rhino, Denny, Craig, for being here. Not that you have any choice. But we'll see you again next week with another episode of the Diz Unplugged. Have a great week. And remember, stay out of the damn lakes.